Hi guys, welcome back to Night Call Part 3. In the last part, we met a journalist who was in love, and in this part, who knows? So let's get into it. Continue. You open one eye. You find your studio calming. There's something special about living in a garret. Like yours is the last place before the sky starts. You get up quickly, and a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 2. Well, we could go to a gas station. I wonder what this eye means. That must be something, right? I guess I'll go there. Oh, we can see our little gas meter in the top right corner. We still have more than half of our gas, so we should be good. You park a few streets away from the Argentinian embassy. You wait there for your contact. You sigh. It seems so odd to have a contact, so excessive. The guy is one of your regulars' poker buddies, a night watchman at the embassy. You get out of your taxi and walk towards the big metal gate. Clean lines, early 20th century maybe. Lots of wrought iron. The gates open and someone moves toward you. They indicate you should follow them. The person's face is hidden by an oversized hoodie. Your heart starts beating faster. What if it was... Follow. You walk into a narrow-covered passageway, probably the entrance to a parking garage. The man turns around and lights up a cigarette. The lighter lights up his face for a second, a young man with curly hair, pale skin. He looks young, very young. That'll be 250 euros. Is it worth it? I got as much as I could, so yeah. You want information on Goro Dishair? I got info on Goro Dishair, and it'll cost you 250 euros, so what will it be? Bargain. He raises his hands in front of his chest, his accent becomes stronger. No, it's 25 euros or nothing. If someone learns I fished around, they'll fire me on the spot. Pay. For that price, you hope the intel is good. You pay. Listen up, because I'm not going to say it twice. Goro Disher is definitely a colonel from Junta, one of the few who wasn't arrested and put on trial. He is responsible for torturing dozens of political opponents. He tortured and killed them. You know, we don't like him much here, but the rich Argentinians in Paris love him. They really respected him. The difference doesn't seem important to him. Yeah, if it makes you happy. He looks back at you. There's one last thing. I read in the newspaper that the killer wrote a message in chalk, "Time's up." It was a slogan at the end of the junta, a sort of watchword from the opponents. It was time for them to go. You get it? You nod. A second later, you're back in your taxi with a hole in your wallet, but with new information on one of the victims. If you follow this lead, maybe your investigation will move forward. You start the car and get back to your shift. Okay, we still have a good amount of gas. I think either them or them. I'm gonna go with this person. They look shady just because I can barely see anything. I can only see really a hood and maybe a mustache? I don't know. Xavier Tersev. I need to get out of here. You pull up next to the sidewalk a few meters from an abandoned warehouse. No sign of your passenger. You wait a minute, staring at the meter. You really don't feel like wasting your time on people who You hear a window break on the second floor of the warehouse. A body falls heavily to the sidewalk. You lay your hand on the door handle when a man, dressed entirely in black, jumps out the window and lands on the body. He stands up and takes a few steps over to your cab. Are you the cab I ordered? You nod your head very, very slowly. Super! I'm the one you're waiting for. Be right there. He turns around, places his fingers on the neck of the inanimate body, takes his pulse. He comes back over, opens the door, and jumps into the back seat. You can start driving. New Ellie, please. You follow orders without a second thought. In the back, your passenger smells like sweat and gunpowder. He's been running. Been in a fight, maybe. Probably. His muscles bulge in rhythm with his heart, which is racing. Good evening? Pretty good, yeah. He smiles, or tries to. You can see blood on his otherwise impeccably white teeth. What the actual fuck? This should not... This guy shouldn't be in our cab! Oh my god. I screwed up a little, but all in all, it was a good evening. You? Yeah? Okay, alright, come on, let's talk about the elephant in the room. You're on to me and you know it. I'm the masked Joker. Silence. You squint to get a closer look at your passenger. The masked Joker? The hero that makes Paris and nights more peaceful? No? You slowly shake your head. Nope, doesn't ring a bell. I'm all over Twitter, so probably on the radio and in the newspapers, I think. And what exactly do you do? I protect people. I'm a guardian. Like a superhero? No, I don't have any superpowers. But it's the same idea. Yes, I mean, for the moment, I mostly take care of small-time crooks, pickpockets. It's not very prestigious, but you have to start somewhere. You open your mouth, but nothing worth saying comes out. You've got to start somewhere. So, how about the name? You like it? I'm not sure I get it. It's Joker, like the card, and mask because I'm wearing a mask. Silence ensues. Your passenger eventually clears his throat. See, I wanted something that wasn't too... He searches for the right word, beats around the bush, and eventually comes out with problematic. I did a lot of brainstorming and came up with the masked Joker. I haven't gotten great feedback, but it's hard these days to find a name everyone likes. You have to make sacrifices if you want your core business to succeed. That's what they tell us at school anyway. At school? Yes, an E-N-K. He freezes. Shit, I almost gave you the name of my business school. What an idiot. Can you imagine if Bruce Wayne went around telling everyone he was Bruce Wayne? Bruce Wayne? No, Batman. If Batman went around telling everyone he was Bruce Wayne. I'm getting all mixed up. He touches his sides for a while like he's looking for a wound. You're getting close to your destination. I think I'm hurt. You want me to take you to the hospital? No, I'm fine. I shouldn't have jumped out of the window like that. But you were already coming down the street and I didn't want to make you wait. You smile. Pull over, right there in front of the driveway. You obey. Don't worry, it's just a flesh wound. I'll be home in 2 minutes and I have everything I need to take care of myself. He pays and struggles to get out of the cab. One last thing. Please don't say anything about N-Kid. I'm trying to lead a double life and it's not super easy. N-Kid? N-Kid, my business school. He freezes. Oh, I just got it. You're playing along. Okay, great. He looks at you for a minute. You're really a classy guy. He walks away, limping. You watch him as he tries several times to enter his building code before heading inside, finally. Oh my god. As you go to start the engine, you notice a few drops of blood on your fingers. Ooh. From the bills your passenger handed you. Take. What the actual fuck? We still have tons of gas. Where am I? I don't know. Oh, I'm right here. Oh, well, this person is right next to me. I guess I'll get her. There's two people, Pierre Henry and Deprahat, Sean Patel, Marquand. I cannot pronounce these names. We're going to Place de la Etoile, sir. Okay. The two passengers getting in your cab can't be more than 17 and are holding a board game in their hands. 5 minutes and a dozen oddly shaped dice clatter on the board as they settle in 5 miniatures. The girl speaks to you. You're not an expert, but it looks like her clothes are brand name. We're going. She turns to her friend. Where are we going, Pierre? To Xenofex's secret chamber. I mean in real life. Come on, focus. I am focused. It's just I never saw Rodolphe's mom like that before. She was screaming, waving her arms. It was awful. You clear your throat. The girl speaks up. Okay, we'll go to my place then. Etoile, please. She turns to her friend as you start driving. We'll start playing again at home? We can't keep playing. We're missing a player. Rodolphe isn't allowed to play anymore. But we're so close to finishing. You know full well Rodolphe won't be playing. His mother said he wasn't allowed to anymore, and he'd never dare lie to her. He's as cowardly as an elf from Freet wrote. Oh my god. They smile in tandem. You suppose it's an inside joke. You raise your gaze and it crosses the girls in the rearview mirror. Oh my gosh, what a yawner. Okay. Actually, sir, you detect a hint of an accent. Very faint, very distant. Have you ever been in a role-playing game? Wait, what the hell are you doing, Shane? Calm down. A role-playing game? Yes, you play a character, you fight monsters, find hidden treasures. You definitely can't place her accent. We usually have another player, but his mom is a demon. They smile at one another inside joke. It would be really cool if you could play with us. All we have left to do is take down the big bad guy in the story. Xenofex. And we'll be done. You watch them. Have no fear, I'm the game master and I'll explain everything. Yes, don't worry. I have to drive. You don't have to read or do anything. I'll do everything for you. You just need to make decisions and she'll, take care of the rest. Their eyes land on you at the same time. Come on, please, it'd be so cool. There's like not even an hour of game left. A half hour tops. Xenofex and his honor guard are already in bad shape. The bastard ran out of his palace to gather strength. We were this close to killing him and he managed to escape. So? Okay. Their faces light up with joy and surprise. Seriously? I mean, fabulous. We're going to be able to complete our campaign. But you'll have to explain the rules to me. Don't worry, you can play Rodolphe's character. It'll go quicker that way. I'll tell you a story, and you can choose what you want to do. Anything I want? No, not anything. It's role play. You have to play a role, be your character, respect his alignment. His alignment? She turns to her friend. You're making this more complicated than it needs to be, Pierre. She takes a very serious tone, highlighting her accent ever so slightly. Listen, I'm gonna walk you through this. If there's a problem, you roll this die. She points to a small 6-sided die. Whether or not you resolve your actions will depend on this die. You roll it each time I ask you to. Is this Dungeons and Dragons? I'm driving. I'll do all the rolls, don't worry. The important thing is to choose wisely. Not to mention your life points. Since you're playing a thief, your character is pretty weak. If you take too many hits, you die. Other than that, I think it's best if you just go with the flow. You'll see, it's much easier than it seems. You've been playing this for 4 years? Yes, it's captivating. I'm the game master, so I write the encounters, the characters, the monsters. And we try to trap her, to make her go places she wasn't planning on going to. That's the beauty of role-playing. We're playing together and against each other at the same time, and we build a world that way. They smile simultaneously. Okay. We have to tell you about your character. The boy nods. We'll get started soon, don't sweat it. You are Chobak, a chaotic good thief. You're a half-goblin. A half-goblin? Your mother was a goblin. They're these little creatures, not really mean, more like playful and facetious. Facetious? She nods. Her sidekick chimes right in without leaving you any time to process. And your father was human. He passed himself off as the avatar of the god of moods, a divinity who controls half the world the game takes place in. He and his family were all necromancers, evil wizards if you prefer. But we killed him. The battle was epic. You raise your eyebrows. Half-goblin, thief, okay. Let's talk about your abilities now. Your character is a thief. He knows how to be very discreet in order to make surprise attacks. He can also pick locks and mug people. Let her keep talking. He wields a magic dagger named the Cobra's Tooth. It can poison anything and anyone. They glance at each other, probably remembering something. You have 29 life points left, which is not that much, and I think that'll do. Pierre, anything to add? He shakes his head with an amused look on his face. Tell him quickly who you're playing so we can start. Sangrenat, a human warrior. Picture Arnie. You nod. I'm just like that, not much gray matter up top. You're oddly not surprised when you see how puny the boy is. But don't worry, we've been friends for a long time. We've gone through so much together. He shuts his eyes slowly, like he was enchanted by the idea. The girl claps her hands together abruptly. All right, let's go. Swell. You narrow your eyes in surprise. What 17-year-old says swell? You're in Xenofex's anteroom. In a nutshell, you've already attacked him, and you used the powers of the magic ring to weaken him. But he escaped, and he's hiding here in an old abandoned fortress. She stares at you with a look that says, you on board? You nod. You explore your surroundings, run your fingers over the heavy tapestries that cover the dark walls. Before you is Xenofex's gate, a venerable wall sculpted in the finest wood of Nert. You know you'll never be able to get through it. You'll have to find some other way. What do? Silence. Pierre holds out his hand. Your turn, Chobak. Very well then. So, what do I do? Tell us what you want to do. So, like, you take a deep breath. I take a look at the tapestries. They depict battle scenes. On the ground, among dead horses, are the heads of enemies impaled on spears. Xenofex is standing among the corpses. Behind him, an army of elves is poised to attack. You feel a chill run through your body. And something grabs your attention. One of the tapestries seems unusually clean. She watches you. I lift up the tapestry? It's too heavy for your tiny half-goblin arms. I respectfully push my thief friend aside, grab onto the tapestry, and rip it off the wall. Remind me how much strength you have again? 22. Should I roll? No, you're good. Sangrenat tears the tapestry in two with his burly arms. The cloth falls to the ground, unveiling a sort of medallion on the wall. Chobak, you immediately recognize it. It's an incredibly powerful magic lock. The kind used only by the most powerful sorcerers and leeches. Let her keep talking. Chobak, the medallion is a magic lock. You know this, but you don't have the key. What are we going to do, Chobak? We can't wait for Xenofex the Terrible to come out. You clear your throat. Play along. Indeed, dear, Sangrenat. Indeed, dear Sangrenat. But perhaps I have something on me that will allow me to pick the lock. The game master smiles coyly. You suddenly notice the dagger on your belt is glowing just a bit. Hey, Chobak, look. I take it out. You pull the dagger out with a yelp of surprise. It's burning hot. The higher you raise it, the closer it gets to the medallion, the hotter it gets. The princess was right. She told us the snake was an ally that would open doors for us. Well then, do you dare open the door? You nod. I gather we don't have any choice if we want to open it. I use the dagger as a key. There is no hole in the medallion, but as you bring the dagger closer to the wall, the stone appears to open so very slightly. The blade slips between the bricks. You turn it slowly, and the gigantic door begins to shake. I pull out my axe. The door opens, but not as you imagine. Each piece of carved wood pulls off like it were coming to life. All of a sudden, the coast is clear, and Xenofex's chamber is before you. I go in. I stick to him like his own shadow, my weapon raised and ready to fight. You slowly enter Xenofex's chamber. One lone torch lights the room. The walls are bare. There's a desk covered with papers, a locked trunk, a straw mattress upon which your enemy appears to be sound asleep. After searching for so many years, the monster who killed your parents and your friends is right there, within arm's reach. Tension builds in the back of the cab. What do you do? I examine my surroundings. You can see perfectly well in the dark. I will now determine how well he can see. You need at least a 4. The die rolls across the board. 2. The game master adopts a deep, formal tone, her accent becoming a touch more perceptible. You see nothing unusual. What do you do? I attack Xenofex. You move over to the bed. You lift your dagger and plunge it into the sleeping figure. She pauses. The blanket collapses. Uh-oh. What? It was a trap. A black shape slips between your legs and strikes you. You fall to the floor instantly. Xenofex emerges from the dark shadow carpeting the chamber floor. He explodes with laughter. The girl suddenly adopts a strange voice, much deeper, with an odd, unidentifiable accent. She whistles with every S. Here you are at last. I've been waiting for 6 long nights, healing my wounds for 6 long nights, all the better to tear your eyes out. Hope I did that right. Black tentacles spring from his face and cut at your body. Peer, roll your dice and then roll Chobox. Will do. He got 2 6s and a 5. Wow, that's going to hurt. The results of the roll aren't too bad, but the boy grins. His magical powers go right through your armor, just as annoying as ever. 2 and 3 and 5 makes 10. Come on, you're not too bad off. Let's roll for Chobok. As the dice rolls across the board, the game master clears her throat. You have 29 life points. That's extremely low. If Pierre gets a double 6, you're dead. We're good. 4, 1, and a 5 comes to 10. You have 19 life points left. He flashes you a smile. I've definitely seen worse. In just a few seconds, Xenofex's back is to the wall. His shape becomes clearer. Behind the odd, opaque black smoke, you make out the tired and worn body of an old man. Xenofex is old. Xenofex was an all-powerful wizard. He takes on his barbaric warrior voice again. And he won't live a day longer. He raises a wrinkled hand. Her voice changes. She's imitating the old man. Wait, I surrender. The boy gets angry in an overly dramatic way. He acts out his anger with an open, frothing mouth. Nonsense! It sounds like a foreign word in the boy's mouth. The game master begins to moan. I swear to you, I submit to your power. Your axe and your dagger have sufficiently slashed my flesh and my mana. In a soft voice, the boy whispers, That means magic. And I have no strength left. You hunted me down in the only place I was finally at peace. 2 against 1. I know when to admit defeat. Help me up and I promise I'll go away. She goes back to her game master voice again. He reaches towards you, his nails dirty, his hands creased with age, his palms streaked with scars. Magic does that, it wears on people. But don't lose your bearings, Chobak, my friend. This man is a murderer, a tyrant, a demon. We have to help him. Your passengers stare at you. Help him? Yes, it would be wrong to kill a man while he's down, wouldn't it? Isn't that the way knights work? The game masters can't keep from smiling when her friend starts ranting wildly. We're not knights, but adventurers. We've done things far worse than killing a man while he's down. Persist. I think we should show our goodwill in spite of all he's done. He just attacked us less than a minute ago. You smile. Everything that was corrupting him is gone. Look at him. You can tell your passenger is about to give up. The game master rolls several dice, one after the other, without a word. What are you doing there? Nothing, nothing. She slowly raises her head to look at you and her friend. At this very moment, time seems to come to a halt. Everything in the room flutters and stops, everything but Xenofex's shadow. It jumps at Chobak's throat. What? His grasp constricts around your neck like the all-powerful grasp of a dreadful bronze python. Huh? You can't breathe. You're becoming more damaged by the second. The boy jumps with joy. A countdown to death. A what? It's a new role in this edition of the game. I've been dying to try it for months. He turns to his friend. You're the best game master ever. The girl blushes a little. Why don't I explain it to our newcomer? In a countdown to death, we each get a turn and you can only choose one action. Each time you play, you get damage, which means your time before death is limited. Speaking of which, she goes back to her game master voice. His incisors are sinking into your neck. You feel your soul being sucked out of you. We need to act fast. She claps her hands together. Let's start with Sangranat. I see my friend Chobak suffocating and I strike. Close combat situation, so if you roll a 1 or 2, you hit Chobak. A 3 or 4 and you miss. A 5 or 6, you reach your target. Don't worry, I have my dexterity bonus. So +1 on each roll. The die rolls across the board. Yes, 4 plus the bonus I hit. It was a close one. Straight away, the game master rolls for damage. A stream of calculations ensue. You feel a bit excluded and lost by all the rules. Critical hit, 16 plus 10, 26. Well done. He flashes you a wide grin while the game master rifles through her papers. Your turn, Chobak. May I remind you that Xenofex is strangling you and has your arm in a hold. Pretty hard to move in those circumstances, but not impossible. You clear your throat. If you move, he'll probably tighten his grip on your throat. If you stay still, it might make it easier for your partner to aim. What to do? The game master looks impatient. I attack Xenofex with my dagger. The dagger is already in your hand, but there's no way you can bend your arm to get to Xenofex. You attempt to noise Xenofex. You feel the ring of his hands tighten around you. Your soul slips away quicker now. Xenofex's turn. The game master's gaze falls to the meter. Usually in a countdown to death, there's a whole system for residual death and DOT. That's short for damage over time. But we don't have much time left, it would seem, so, she rolls the die. Xenofex is still bleeding you to death. Roll 2 dice plus 5. 4, 6, critical hit. Plus 5, so 15, plus the critical hit. Dramatic pause. 25, that comes to 25 damage points. Your passengers look relieved. Okay, second round of the countdown of death. Pierre, try not to kill their driver, please. He flashes you an embarrassed grin. I'm a warrior, so I strike. Pierre, it would be a shame for your axe to end up decapitating our poor friend here. I'm role-playing, Shane. Sorry, that's just how it is. Their voices become more distant the longer their argument draws on. Apparently, Pierre's the type that always likes to play the rough guy, and Shane wants her players to have some finesse. Your mind wanders for a while. Pierre and Shane, odd pair. Where exactly are they from? Hey, can you hear me? You're snapped out of your thoughts. Sorry? I said that Pierre missed Xenofex again. Uh-oh. Exactly, but we might still have one chance. The DEM ring. DEM? Yes, it means She looks embarrassed for a minute, then spits out, "It means Deus Ex Machina. More importantly, it's a treasure. An all-powerful ring you found on your father's body. It can spark an explosion of fire. But if you use it, well, you die. But Xenofex would die too. You don't quite get what the problem is. After all, it's just an imaginary character. So what do? I use the ring. Yes, great, I've been dying to use it for weeks. An amused grin from the girl. Pierre even wrote several short stories about this ring. I'm a literary guy, Shane. I couldn't help myself. How exactly do I turn the ring on? To activate the ring, you just need to rotate it around your finger. That seems dangerous. I rotate the ring. Xenofex's tentacles wrap around your arm to prevent you from rotating the ring. Your fingers touch the metal. She speaks in her Xenofex voice. No, how dare you use Father's ring? Oh, yes. How dare you use our family's ring to destroy us? The boy belches with joy. I knew it. Pierre. She collects herself. No, don't do it. I keep going. What? I keep going. I have to rotate the ring. Your fingers grasp the metal. You start to turn it. Once around, twice. I jump as far away as possible. 3 times. The ring begins to burn. Xenofex pulls away from you and tries to retreat. I stop him. The girl smiles. The ring explodes. Tongues of fire spill out all around you. The last thing you see is a sea of fire. Your brother, Xenofex, standing there alone. He reaches out. I grab his hand. You come closer to him. He smiles at you. His skin starts to crumble like burning paper. He only has time to get one single word out. Dramatic pause. Mom. She pauses again. Xenofex disappears in a puff of smoke. Dead silence throughout the cab. Wow, that was insane, Shane. Totally insane. I knew it was his brother. I knew it. Chobot came from a family of necromancers. We were lucky our friend did not choose the path of black magic. She stares at you with a funny smirk on her face. As the powerful flames generated by the ring are at last extinguished, silence reigns over Xenofex's fortress. The tyrant, the king of death, is no more. Outside, the sun rises, announcing a new day. In the surrounding towns, bakers begin baking bread. Farmers let the krelorks out of their pens. The boy leans over to you and whispers, "It's like a huge cow with a shell on its back." Though no one is aware of it, 2 brave adventurers saved their lives, their towns, their kingdom. The night alone knows what transpired. She pauses, closes her eyes, and smiles. It wasn't recording. Okay, well, my camera died, and there's nothing I can do about it, so I'm just gonna continue where I left off. Hopefully you were able to read. Oh my god. She pauses, closes her eyes, and smiles. The end. It's over? The girl nods. It is. So what happens now? Well, it's over. We had to finish this campaign. We had to practice exams coming up, and then the baccalaureate. We won't really have time to play anymore. You hear a tinge of sadness in her voice. But now, right now, it's time to go home. You head towards Place de l'Etoile. In the backseat, your passengers speak softly. They're reminiscing about previous games. There's a terrible thought forming in your mind, trying to emerge, to break free, but you keep it locked inside. You're not allowed to think about your own brother. That's your rule. Don't think about him, ever. A few minutes later, you arrive at Place de l'Etoile. It's right here. He points to one of the fanciest buildings in the neighborhood. You pull over as soon as you see a free spot. The girl pays the fare as her friend puts the game pieces on board away. Thank you for tonight. It was really very kind of you, especially since we managed to beat Xenofex, that nasty little necromancer. Hold on, I got an achievement. It's blocking my goddamn text box. For what it's worth, if you enjoyed it, there are places in Paris where you can play, you know. His friend looks at him with amusement. Come on, Pierre. I wanted to thank you. It was really very nice of you to do this. You're welcome. With utmost delicacy, they exit the taxi, taking the game board with them. You watch them as they enter the building. You immediately notice the security cameras just above the door in the lobby, which is so well lit it can't be good for the environment. You turn the key in the ignition. Xenofex was... You shake your head, push the dark thoughts back into the deepest part of your mind. Strangle it. You close your eyes, clench your eyelids shut. You sit like this for a moment before taking a deep breath. Okay, take. I am gonna end this part there, you guys. Holy cow, it lasted so long. Jesus. Thank you for watching. Bye!